Okay. All right. Okay, I will call the Committee on Government Operations to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Member is acknowledging they are attending the meeting via Zoom and that they are located in Wayne County, Michigan, unless otherwise stated when I call your name. Commissioner Kniezek.
Here.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman.
Here.
Commissioner Basham.
Here.
Commissioner Killeen.
Here.
Chair Dobb.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item.
Chairwoman's remarks.
I'd like to thank Commissioner Basham for reminding me to wish the United States Marine Corps happy birthday, and to thank all servicemen and women for their service to our country. I think we've got Commissioner Kniezek is on, Marine.
Hoorah.
I don't want to start anything, so we will just move on from here.
Was he on when Ray Basham was bashing the Marines?
No, he was not. You missed all the fun before we started.
Basham wouldn't last a day in the Marines. He can say whatever he wants.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next item. Madam Clerk.
C, approval of the October 27th, 2021 meeting minutes.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. Next item.
Item 1, under unfinished business, requesting commission approval of a retroactive 3-year comparable source professional services contract with the 1-year option to renew with Blue Source or Source Blue.
Okay, it's my understanding that we, commission staff just got the information on this item back late yesterday, so we're not going to be taking this up today. So we will just move on to the next item.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Killeen.
Can you just restate what that information is that delayed us from the vote the previous time and also delayed for this time?
Yeah, commission staff, can you actually help me out with that? What was missing on the original in the original contract information?
So through the chair, so when this item was first presented to the commission, there were questions that were not answered. The following meeting, the day before, we did get responses to those questions. With regards to this week, however, we did not get the actual contract document back with the revised language until about 2:40 or so yesterday afternoon. So we actually didn't even have the item in our possession until late yesterday for review, to ensure that the contract and the forms and everything was in order.
All right, thank you. And Madam Chair, if I may, because we're going to pass this for the day, Madam Chair.
Yeah, we're just leaving it under unfinished business.
Yeah, if we can have, because that'll be 2 meetings that we will have not acted and moved it forward. When it comes before us 2 weeks from now, can we just have a little summary of why that took so long? Why we moved it the first time, why we moved it the second, just to fill in, for everybody to see what the deal was, the delays were in getting this.
Yes, if commission staff could provide a summary for us.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, moving back to the agenda, next item, please.
Item 1, under new business, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a 3-year contract with 2 1-year options or 1 2-year option to renew with Giffords Webster Engineers.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on this item? This is for surveying the monument and remonument in the corners in Wayne County.
I'll move its approval, Madam Chair.
Okay. All All right, we have a motion for approval and support. Any further questions, discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Knezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
All right.
Chair Dobb,
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 2, requesting commission approval of a 1-year memorandum of understanding with the Michigan Appellate Assigned Counsel System.
Okay. Actually, do we have someone who can just kind of explain what this is? And I believe there's an increase in fees.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner Dobb. Good morning, commissioners and everybody. Mary Ann Talon, project consultant with Corporation Counsel. Also, I believe on the line is Brad Hall, who's the executive director of the Michigan Assigned Counsel System. This MOU does a couple of things. Primarily, though, it increases the fees that we're going to pay to those lawyers who agree to accept indigent appeals. It's different from the MIDC funds that fund the trial court work, but we've been lagging behind in the county in properly paying lawyers for many, many, many years. The MIDC statute is basically forcing us and the state, because it's the state's responsibility, let's not forget that, to pay the trial lawyers appropriately. But then we have this conundrum where the appellate lawyers still are being paid less than they should be being paid. And so the appellate lawyers are refusing to do Wayne County's work because they can get paid a better rate. I'm still not even sure it's what they're worth, but they can get paid a better rate in other counties. So what this MOU does is say, we're not going to pay under the fee schedule that we've had since 1998 anymore. We're going to adopt the max fee schedule, and max is going to help us transition this process from the court doing everything to the county doing it. And when I say the county, I mean Robin Dillard's department, Indigent Defense Services Department, that's a recently formed department to handle indigent defense services. Again, this is different. This is not mandated by the MIDC Act, but there is a standard in the MIDC, Standard 5, that talks about independence from the judiciary. And while it's mandated at the trial level, it's best practices across all levels. And so even though there's no statute saying we must do this now, take this from the court, it is best practices and everyone realizes it is, and the court is agreeable to have the IDSD handle this instead of them. We do need more general fund money, and that's where you all come in because we've never paid enough. And so now we're essentially asking to double that budget. We've estimated this cost at the $691,000 that I think is currently sitting in the court's budget, but it will be moving over to IDSD. Maybe it's been moved over by now, I'm not sure. But ultimately it's IDSD who will be doing the work instead of the court. Like I said, Brad's on the line. If you have any specific questions to ask him, he's available.
Okay. I just have 2 questions and you can probably answer them. So when was the last time we raised fees or there was a fee change? You mentioned 1998. Is that?
I believe that was the last time. I believe it's the same schedule. Brad, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's right. 1998.
Okay. And then you mentioned MAC. Is that the Michigan Appellate Assigned Counsel System?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that for the public. Commissioner Killeen? Commissioner, oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I try to be a good boy and go on mute, and that's what happens. Ms. Talon, this resolution doesn't actually, this is just the background agreement, right? That the court will no longer assign the attorneys, our department will?
Well, actually, we'll be using MAX, the Michigan Appellate Assigned Counsel system. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an operational type of agreement. It's not like it's not a procurement contract.
Right. But this is the agreement that says, okay, this is going to be the new system. This doesn't actually appropriate the money, does it? That'll come in a separate.
I believe the money's already been appropriated for fiscal 22.
Okay, and we get that money by shifting it out of the Third Circuit budget to ours?
Part of it, and part of it we had to increase the general fund amount because we've never put enough into the courts. Got it?
As you know, I'm supportive of all these efforts. I just want to make sure that we're tracking each step of the way, what's happening. So was it in the general county budget this year that amount, the extra amount for these attorneys was put?
So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody from M&B that's on the line, my understanding is that when the fiscal 22 appropriation was passed, this $691,000 was court's line for appellate fees. That line will be transferred over. I presume there'll be a budget adjustment, if it hasn't happened already, that you will see, that moves that money from the court's line to IDSD's line.
And then somewhere we have already put county general fund money into that line for that department?
Well, you put general fund money into that line, but right now I believe it's in the court. So it's going to transfer from the court to IDSD because the court won't be doing the work, IDSD will be. And then the court's been very helpful in figuring this all out. And I just noticed that Rich Lynch made a chat here that he's also on the line. So if you have any questions for the court, he's also here.
Well, will that $691,000 cover the extra cost?
So great question. I don't know. I hope so. We did build into the MOA the provision that we can backtrack if it looks like we're going to lose money. I don't want to have to do that. Obviously, I want this to be moving in the right direction. And I think that if we underestimated, we will be able to show that the underestimating was due to the caused by the pandemic. And in that case, I would seek ARPA funds. Now, I'm not positive that they would qualify. I'm just telling you that's my thinking. But let's assume we run out of money. We don't get ARPA funds. The MOU lets us say, stop everything, we're reverting. Because we just plain old won't have the money to pay it. I mean, unless I can come back and convince you to somehow give us more money in the middle of the year or whatever. I mean, I suppose that's always an option as well. But I think
I'm on back. I'll vote for that. But so
hopefully
really
it won't be necessary.
But what happened here is you made an estimate as to what the cost was going to be. Correct. And then you looked at what the Third Circuit has, which of course is general fund money from the county, and said, we think this 690, 700,000 will cover it.
Yes.
So there hasn't been any additional appropriations as of yet. We're just moving from one pot to another, what we've already appropriated.
What you've already appropriated, but you did appropriate more in fiscal 22 than you did in previous years.
And that was a good thing. And so the thing—
in anticipation of this happening.
That's correct. And so what I'm looking for here as a commissioner then is that 681 going to be sufficient? And we may talk to you later in the year if it turns out it's not. Okay, I just want to know where I stand. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Does anyone else have any questions? Discussion?
I'll move approval, Madam Chair. Colleen.
We have a motion. Oh, there was support? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Basham.
Basham. Okay, it's been moved and supported Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Knezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman, Commissioner Clark-Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 3, requesting Commission approval of a 1-year comparable source professional services contract with 3 1-year options to renew with NDS Detroit and Neighborhood Defender Service.
Okay. Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a comparable source contract, correct?
Yeah, that's what it says, yes.
So why can't we bid this out? I mean, I know they do good work, but it's like, there's got to be a way of, lowest qualified bidder, as contracts go. I just think that, I struggle with comparable source, sole source, and retroactive, so.
Is there someone here from the administration to speak on this?
Yep. Good morning, Commissioner Dobb and Commissioner Basham and all commissioners. Robin Dillard, Director of the Indigent Defense Services Department. Commissioner Basham, to your point, this particular contract, I believe at the time, and certainly Ms. Talon, who was a part of the original consulting team back when the RFP came in for this contract, at the time, my understanding was that even then there were no other organizations that could meet the RFP requirements as laid out at that time. As you mentioned, Commissioner Basham, NDS has done extremely great work for us. And we, in consultation with the procurement director for this particular contract, it may be an opportunity for another RFP or bidding out maybe in the next couple of years. But of course, as of right now, as it stands, there really was no other organization that could meet the need as laid out by the state, as well as what we require. So I hope that answers your question. And certainly I would defer to Ms. Talon or anyone else who worked on the original RFPs at that time.
Well, if I may, through the chair, you said in a couple of years, why can't you move it sooner? Because I'm sure there are organizations out there or law firms that actually could be qualified, that could continue this and also make it a competitive process.
Again, Commissioner Basham, as I stated, that certainly that is something we will take into consideration for sure. However, at that time, and basically, this is only going into about the second year or third year of the contract, there was no other organization that could provide the services that we were looking for. So I certainly understand and again, certainly hear what you're saying.
But if you put it out there, that you might find an organization to do that, is my thing. So, but anyway, that's my thoughts.
Are you all set, Commissioner Basham?
I heard the answer. Thank you.
Commissioner Killeen.
Madam Chair, I got a couple of questions, but just following up on my colleague's question. The contract that we had approved had 3 1-year options, and this is just the first of the 3-year options. It wasn't time to go out for a rebid because they're the existing contract and the 3 1-year options. I would like to ask Commission Counsel if there's any changes in these contracts we should be aware of. Any change with this 1-year option that we're renewing?
Through the chair, and staff or the department will correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, this is the contract where they actually did not exercise their option to renew. They elected to try to start over with a new contract, and that new contract would then, would give them an additional 3 1-year options to renew. So this is actually not a renewal of the prior contract. They elected to start over. I believe part of that rationale was because all of the parties are not all the same, but I will allow the department to actually speak to that because that was their determination. Other than that, the basics of the contract are the same with regards to the services NDS will provide to the county.
Okay, and I guess, so this is a 1-year contract, a new contract with 3 one-year options.
If I may, through the chair, that is correct, Commissioner Colleen. And the reason behind that is because, as Ms. Talon pointed out, with the onset of Standard 5, we had to remove the court as a party. They were a party to the original contracts with the county and NDS. And now this contract is between simply the county and NDS and not Third Circuit Court. Okay. So we did have to execute a new contract.
And we may, I hope, Madam Chair, we can get another update because these standards come on from the state like 3 at a time or something. And Ms. Dillard mentioned that this was Standard 5, which was recently put in. I don't know where we're at, if we're at Standard 6, 7. I don't know if there's Standard 8 or 9 to come yet, but maybe we should get an update on that, Madam Chair, where we're at in that process. Because there's also the outstanding question of the state has been talking about putting more costs on the county for this. And that's still an issue that's up in the air, even though, as Ms. Talon correctly points out, this is a state responsibility. We had also talked when we originally did this and moved to this firm about reporting requirements. And I don't believe I've seen any reports in the 3 years since we've had NDS. I think there were some reporting requirements to our new department, but I haven't seen any of that. And of course, you know, the commission is very much concerned with indigent defense and doing it right and having people. In fact, we need more. We need lawyers to go in with people when they're foreclosed on. We need, you know, and that's a different topic, but there's great interest on the commission to make sure people are legally protected when they get dragged into court. Has there been a report, an annual report to the commission on the activities, like how many cases they've done or whatever the metrics are that were asked for? Has the department been getting those reports?
So Commissioner Colleen, if I may, we have built into the original NDS contract, as you mentioned, were reporting requirements to the county. That's on a monthly basis. We have been receiving those reports. We continue to receive those reports. The same mechanisms are built into this particular contract. And I do remember or recall several, probably within the last year or so, NDS did come and do a PowerPoint presentation, giving sort of an update to the commission on where they were and what strides they have been making. That's something we certainly can do again, but just as you mentioned, they do have reporting requirements built in. And now that IDSD has those sort of requirements, we'll also be coming before the commission with updates as it relates to both assigned counsel and NDS.
And did NDS come before a committee or to the full commission?
I believe it might have been before committee, Commissioner Colleen. Yeah. Matt Connect is on here. He's the chief of staff. Well,
that's okay. That's okay. But see, that happens. It goes to committees, and then the full commission doesn't, you know, because there's about 2/3 of the commission. I would like to suggest this, Madam Chair and Ms. Dillard, that maybe on a 6-month or an annual basis, that the department compiles those reports that they're getting monthly and provide a general report to all commissioners so that we can kind of see what the day-to-day, month-to-month activities are and how this is moving along. Because when we put in contracts report to the county, that is widely interpreted as not the commission. That goes to the departments. And so even though those reporting requirements, those reports don't float down to us. And so I would, again, like to suggest that every 6 months or every year, we get a summary of the monthly reports that the department is receiving so that we can stay up on this too, because with additional standards coming, this is not the last time we're going to talk about this. And so I think the more we have the commissioners up to date, speaking for myself, the better the decision making is going to go. as we move forward. So I'm throwing that suggestion out there. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Colleen. Do we have any other Commissioner questions or discussion on this item?
I move approval, Madam Chair.
We have a motion.
Support, Colleen.
And support. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Kniezek,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman,
Yes.
Commissioner Basham,
Reluctant, yes.
Commissioner Colleen,
Aye.
Chair Dobb.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 4, requesting Commission approval of retroactive Amendment 1 to a 2-year legal services agreement with the Mike Cox Law Firm.
All right. Commissioner Basham's probably going to ask the question that I have, but I'll let you ask it.
Well, heaven forbid I'd ask a question about a retroactive contract. I know Mike Cox, I know he does good work and all that stuff, but the thing of it is when you deal with retroactive contracts, I have issues, flags go up all over the place. So that's my concern.
Good morning, through the chair. My name is Bruce Campbell. I'm with Wayne County Corporation Counsel's office. One of the things, and I'll let Mr. Cox speak after just a couple observations. One is in Act 312, you know, we start out with what we anticipate the amount of time that's necessary to go through all the hearings. But once the hearings start, it kind of takes on a life of its own, and it takes and it moves rapidly over a very short period of time. And you know, we're kind of between a rock and a hard place. Either we guess very high, and then the commission questions why we would anticipate such a high amount, or we go somewhat lower, and then of course we run into a situation similar to this, where the hearings are moving at a much faster pace than the contracting process. So with that, you know, if Mr. Cox has some other observations, I'll let, because he's closer as to what's been going on.
Thank you. This is Mike Cox, and thank you for the opportunity to address the commission and Chairwoman Dobb, and thank you for the birthday greetings. I have the pleasure of being a brother with Commissioner Kniezek, and I would also say Happy Veterans Day to any veterans, including Commissioner Basham. That is exactly the case as Mr. Campbell described it. We had 12 days of hearings over a very short period of time, and just to get a sense of it, when you write afterwards and you're in a time crunch, we generated a 90-page document. I talked with Mr. Martinico this morning. He believes opinion is going to come out within a couple days, and that will be the end of the assignment. To the extent that we fell down on the job, I apologize for that, but it really is a function of it's a heavily intensive, exhaustive, comprehensive burst of work in a very short period of time. And it is very, very unpredictable.
Commissioner Basham, did you have another question?
I did. I listened to Mr. Campbell's remarks. These are the same comments that we got last time this came in front of us. And so anyway, it continues to go on and on and on. And I understand the importance and everything, but at some point, and I put some of this on the commission and everything. It's like, you know, I'm not going to quit on retroactive sole source or comparable source contracts. So, I mean, I understand it's probably going to pass, but I need to send a message that I don't like. Mike knows where I'm going to go with this. But anyway, thank you.
I have one question. Is this matter, is this coming to a close? And will this amount that we will be voting on, will that be enough to cover all of the legal fees for this? Do you think, or can you give me?
Chairwoman, I believe it will. If Mr. Martinico, the arbitrator, is speaking with him and the other side over the next couple of days, it sounds like it's going to be satisfactory to Mr. Martinico and resolve favorably. So I anticipate that this week hopefully will be the end of it, and there will be no more billing on this matter.
Okay. All right. Do any other commissioners have a question on this item? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
I'll move it for approval, Madam Chair.
I guess we need a motion. Thank you. Do we have support for that motion?
I'll support it.
All right, it's been moved and supported. Now can we please have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Knizek?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Basham?
No.
Commissioner Killeen?
Aye.
Chair Dobb?
Yes. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 5, requesting commission approval of a resolution to extend the delegated settlement authority for an additional year on cases up to $20,000 to Wayne County Corporation Counsel to settle all claims and accept case evaluation awards, proposed settlements and judgments, or counter offers of judgment.
I'm going to move approval of that, Madam Chair.
We have a motion. Does anyone wish to support?
I'm going to support it. I have questions. Colleen.
Okay. Go ahead with your questions, Commissioner.
Well, we did give approval, the commission on delegated authority on these cases. Why should we continue this for a year from Corporation Counsel? I'd like to hear their rationale.
Good afternoon, Chair. This is Sue Hamoud, Deputy Corporation Counsel. This is, as the Commission knows, this is a long-standing delegated authority resolution that allows Corporation Counsel to settle lawsuits for up to $20,000. The rationale for continuing the delegated authority is that it allows us to quickly move cases or claims that are made against the county. As required by the resolution, we do provide a report to the commission as to the claims that are brought and the settlements that are made.
And when you say long-standing, Ms. Hamoud, how long-standing are we talking?
Well, I've been here for 9 years, and the 9 years that I've been here, it's been it's been a delegated resolution authority, and I'm sure it existed well before my time.
Has there been any discussion of not doing this on a year-to-year basis? Because just like everything else, the cost of lawsuits go up, and so these amounts 10 years ago look a lot lower than they do now. Has there been any discussion about not doing this as a year-by-year request, but to set it in stone as it was at one time?
Not that I am aware of.
Okay. All right. I'm just curious about that. And maybe we may consider that, or folks should consider that. Anyway, thank you very much. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other commissioners have a question? All right. It has been moved and supported. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Knizek?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman? Commissioner Clark-Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Bash?
Yes.
Commissioner Basham?
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen?
Aye.
Chair Dobb?
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Are we taking 6 and 7?
Yeah, actually, let's take 6 and 7. These need to be in closed session.
Item 6? I'm sorry.
Well, Madam Chair, I was going to move to go into closed session on items 6 and 7.
Thank you. Can I get support?
Support.
It's been moved that we will go into closed session for 6 and 7. We need to do
before you take, oh, I'm sorry.
And I was just about to do the same thing. Go ahead, Felicia.
No, feel free.
So, Madam Chair, if you don't mind, if the clerk can read into the record the reason for the closed session.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Corporation Counsel has reviewed the litigation and is of the opinion that the discussion of trial or settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation in an open meeting will have a detrimental financial effect on the county's litigation or settlement position. Therefore, a closed client counsel session is requested.
Okay, thank you. Now let's do a roll call vote to go into closed session.
Commissioner Kniezek?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Basham?
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen?
Aye.
Chair Dobb?
Yes. All right, motion passes.
We are now moving into closed session.
Okay, Madam Clerk, are we all back into the main room?
Yes.
Great. Okay, let's return to item number 6.
Item 6, requesting commission approval of a settlement in the matter of Train US versus Wayne County Finance.
Move approval, Madam Chair. Colleen.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Kniezek?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Basham?
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen?
Aye.
Chair Dobb?
Yes. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of a settlement in the matter of Fatima Hassan versus Wayne County.
Can I get a motion on this item?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Support.
We have a motion for approval by Commissioner Clark-Coleman, supported by Commissioner Basham. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Kniezek?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark-Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Basham?
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen?
Aye.
Chair Dobb?
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
There are none. Next item.
Public comments.
Did we receive any emails?
We do have one email comment.
Okay, would you please read that first?
Madam Chair, how much time are you allowing for public comments?
Let's do 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
This is from Shayla Morelli. It doesn't specify which committee it goes to, so I'll read it at this one.
Thank you.
It says, at this point, I'm aware not one of you are going to fight for we the people, the ones you took the constitutional oath to do so, but I would like to know exactly how long you're going to continue to be complicit in this crime against our children. The Senate Bill 82 was signed by Whitler and is law. It says Whitler. I don't care what she mumbled under her breath about the Constitution. She shouldn't even be uttering that word. It doesn't change the fact that you can't mask anyone under 18. Every illegal can stroll across our U.S. border untested, unvaccinated, and unmasked, heck, to get cash and ride to a local city near you. But you all keep abusing our children, all in the name of control. Because children are hardly super spreaders is despicable what you all are doing. Tell me, why is it that Florida is wide open and had no masks for months and months now? Why don't you explain why they have the lowest COVID rates in the country and why 2 weeks ago, 40% of COVID deaths were fully vaccinated people? Science, right? This nonsense on our children needs to stop, and you all need to start working for the people. The Constitution doesn't get thrown away over a virus that has a 99% survival rate.
Hey, thank you. Now we'll go to public comments from anyone present in the meeting. Can you just unmute everyone? And if there's anyone here who would like to address the Committee on Government Operations, you can just go ahead, either unmute yourself or if you've already been unmuted. Anyone wishing to make a public comment at this time, please just go ahead. And last call for public comments. All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the next item.
Adjournment.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You
Madam
too.
Chair.